All right, Jason, what's your take on it? What have you learned about yourself since COVID-19?
It's interesting because I live in Northern California, so we've been locked down and still locked down for a very long time.
Oh
There
yeah.
was a brief period of about a month there where you get a haircut and eat inside of a restaurant, and then that all stopped. But it's very similar to, like, I said earlier, I ran away from sales for a while, and I actually deployed as a
Yeah.
civilian overseas and would be gone 5 months at a time, like in nasty places. And so it's very much like that. Like, this is easy because I
As
did.
a
No, no,
salesperson
no.
that you was deployed?
Like, this is when I was not in sales. Like, I took a break from sales. I was a civilian contractor
Okay.
working on classified projects, and was
Oh.
literally, this is just like that. I mean, 5 months of being in the desert, 5 months of being locked at home. But the thing I realized about myself, and I really see in other people, is people's, my default nature when things are like this, seeing opportunity and seeing relationships and seeing growth and seeing, like, the positive things. Like, to me, it's become even more clear in this, where it's like, with this
Mhm.
time, what can I do? Like, what do I want to have done by the time things get to some kind of normal? And others I see where it's like, okay, they're in this and they're shutting down, and they're just like, their default mode is very glasses half empty, just kind of shut down mode. And for me, it's like,
Mhm.
how do I do more? Right? Like, this is a great opportunity to expand, like Joe said, relationships and reconnect, and then business and the book. And it's just like, how do you do more?
Yeah. Wow. That's profound. I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah. I guess now when it coming to me, I guess when it comes down to it, I just realized that I just didn't appreciate time. And just the concept of time, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. I mean, I just was very cavalier how I spent my time, and I realized that now that I had more time, essentially, I didn't know what to do with it, and I find myself, say, okay, well, what am I going to do? The best scenario that I could give you that made me aware that how I was mismanaging my time was on a given Sunday, I will wake up maybe, let's say, 11 o'clock in the morning, and that's fine. But I know before the night before, that there were certain projects I need to complete to ensure that I'll be successful the upcoming week for work. Now, given that said, I woke up at 11 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock, I'm like, I'm a bit munchy. So I want to have breakfast. So, okay. So I have breakfast. This is my way to procrastinate, right? So I have breakfast. I sit down and like, oh, I'm gonna eat breakfast. I'm gonna watch CBS Sunday Morning. I got gray hair, so that's how I like to start my day. So I watch that, and then I'm like, you know what? Guess what? I didn't watch Saturday's CBS morning news. So let me watch that too. So I sit back and I do that. I'm like, oh man, I haven't responded to my LinkedIn comments. So guess what? At this point, it's 6 o'clock. I'm not joking. It actually happened. Then I'm like, well, you know what? I'm actually hungry now, so I might as well have dinner because I got the munchies again. So I have dinner, and next thing you know, I have dinner and I watch something else while I'm having dinner. I realize it's 9 o'clock. So 8 hours later, or more than 8 hours later, all the time that I could have utilized to do the work that I needed to do, and then at this point I could have just sit back and relax. I procrastinated. So I became more aware of how to effectively use my time and not procrastinate as much. It doesn't mean that I've turned a new leaf, but it's peaking. And I'm doing a little bit better here and there. So
Well, and I think that's awesome that you realize that. And I think one of the things that I learned that fits into what you're saying is also, because we're all at home and no one's leaving, is to also allow
mhm.
yourself for, like, that guilt-free day. Because it's terrible when I should be doing, but, like, I'm procrastinating, but I'm not even having fun procrastinating because I feel guilty. Instead of, like, what
Yeah.
I've gotten to over the last 5 months is, screw it. Like, today is a nothing day. Like, just going to hang out. I don't care. No guilt, no expectations. and just, relax.